peace and blessings, everybody. Uh, Good to be back again. QUILLON Brown, aka Rashad Abdul Haq. Uh, Thank everybody for tuning in, um, supporting, because we supporting me, not supporting me, we supporting each other, and and being able to, get some, gravitate to the next phase, next stage, and just reach for a higher plane in this sphere that we in. Um, the podcast bringing forth reality. We talk about and discuss um, and even though that the that we the audience who is viewing is receiving it, but really it's like the dialogue is like it's like we bouncing off of each other. So and that's how I get it. That's how I get. That's why, like in here, this is how the language is for the most part inside the book. Today I want us to look at I want majority and minority. That's the subject. Majority and minority. And when you think about the majority and the minority, now we got different perspectives. We got different aspects of the majority and minority. So majority, you have where you talk about a census or the people or the ethnic group. You got majority, and then you got minority. You got majority over here in the United States. Majority Caucasian, of course. My ethnic group falls in the minority. Just over here, though. And now that's when you that's talking about that. Now you also got a majority and minority, and when you're talking about also a way of life. When people have a concept and have a way of life, and this is a majority and a minority in that, and we're gonna get into all of that. So I'm just trying to expound on where the majority and minority is several different things, and where we can go and where that'll fit what we're trying to get out of the whole subject. So I look at one thing is right that we're as far as our mindset is, to me, I say, first, because we got to start home. I always start home, right? I always start home first, and then we can go out, right? Melanated people. Mindset is in a minority state. It's in a minority state. Now, what I mean by that, so when we look at the things that's happening, that's transpired. So let's before we go back, we're gonna start with right at the present, right? What we got going on now. So look at things that's happening, that's transpiring before our eyes. Just recent. When you look at recent incidents of people of our ethnic group, the melanated people, right? Black people, black. I say melanated because I try to kind of keep it neutral, and people with the melanin in their skin. That it's been several incidents lately, and I mean, and when I say lately, we've been going through things that you look at it and be like, how why is it happening? You know, even past, and then even, even past, and then through that 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 period, coming up to the present. So you got a lot of incidents with black youth. This has been going on. We seeing it, in the news, um, around, this nation, that, a lot of them, they coming up missing, they coming up dead. Then nobody knows nothing what's going on. It's a mystery about the incident. Um, I, I I mean, I'm not gonna name specifically the name, but y'all, I mean, if y'all keeping up with, all y'all do is just pull it up. You got Google now. All y'all do is say Google. Incidents where people have came up missing, or people have been found dead with no culprit. Mississippi, there's been several incidents, several of them. Alabama, I think in Carolina, I can't remember if it was North, South Carolina, up Washington. I mean, in several places all throughout. So when I'm talking about recent, I said this on the last one of the things I said the last time. Like we gotta, cause we were speaking about the incident for the youngsters, the young guy that got killed right in the store when the dude ran out there and shot him in the back and all that. All this type of stuff. This, first of all, reason why I say I'm coming to the minority thing, right? Our mindset, or why I'm saying what I say about it. When do we think that something's gonna change? When what's putting in place? What are we putting in place for it to change? Then somebody said, well, we gotta get somebody in office, or we gotta get a council. These people in the we got to get some good councilmen or good representatives and to sit in the seat, senators, or we got to get a majority of this type of party in that's on Congress. I mean, this congressmen, men and women. We need to be able to protest in a certain way so the laws can be changed. Well, 2026, I believe that's 2020. That's the number that they saying, right? That what we in 2026 on this solar or whatever this English calendar that we going on, 2026, and we think that something gonna change in politics, in the political arena, right? And we're not the only one in the minority mind state either with that. This is the majority of the people. We go. There's the majority of the people. Majority of the people are with a minority mindset. You see? So, but I start home first. So now you got these things that's happening and transpire. You got all kinds of stuff. The cop just shot a baby right there in Mississippi. 1 year old. Okay, well, what we do? Okay, we're gonna get there. They hold up a little old rally or whatever. A stance. Make some noise, which is that's of course is good. We supposed to say something. We supposed to hold ground. And hey, we're not gonna be having this and having that. But it's like kind of like a firecracker, right? You gonna start. You can see if you send one of those Roman candles off, you gonna blaze up. It's gonna be all popping and everything. And in a minute, it's gonna die down, and it's gonna be over with. And that's what's been going on with us. It'll die down and it'll be over with. So what I'm trying to get us to look at is that's not a good mindset. That's the minority mindset. That's the majority of us have a minority mindset, and I'm saying we need to come out of that. We don't need to be looking for holding a matter. You have to make some action. Or what kind of action do we need to make? Well, that ain't gonna get it. Being a fight, you need it. the fight need to be in another manner, right? And like I said, we need to get our when we say that we need to have our own. So that's when the togetherness supposed to come, like it did when we were back 100 years ago, or even 50, 60 years ago, right? We came together because it was the only thing we had, right? Because we was still our people was fighting for. I wasn't here then, but I'm just saying our people was fighting for every right to, I mean, even just to be, just to live, not to be respected, just to live, right? But the fight should have been different then also. And so now it was people that was fighting different. It was people that was making moves that was like, I mean, you gotta go when you look at if you watch a event, a fighting event, right? Two people, you think you got the opponent, you got two individuals. One hit the other one. He not gonna hit him back, or she not gonna hit the other one back. You see, so we don't even know how to fight. We just let somebody hit us and then just say, oh well, let's we don't know how to hit back. In other words, that's what I'm saying. We don't know how to hit back. Now, am I saying that if somebody killed them, then we should kill them? Well, I don't know. You got to make that decision. See, because I'm gonna tell you something. When we go into the courts, then and you've been found guilty, they say you've been found guilty. Somebody say that you killed this individual. We unanimously came up with the decision that you did, and then we kill you. So I'm saying you don't have a win. You got to make the win. Now you don't have to be on the side of where you're saying, well, man, I think that's a too militant. Well, that's what they say. That's because this is what's in the mind. Because if you did that to them, I guarantee you they're gonna be trying to do something to you. If this was on the other foot, then it wouldn't be the same. I'm talking about it for the opposition treating you in the same way that you treat that you treat them. So we have to think about these things, and we gotta come up with some better solutions. In other words, than what we've been coming with, because it's not working. Nothing's gonna happen politically. It ain't never gonna happen politically because it's a trick and it's a game and it's all a ploy anyway, right? And we condition and brainwash and train to believe that something is going to happen and that we need to just find out what party you for and then something happen. No, it ain't gonna happen because it's all game. It's all concocted from the jump. You just have to know that. You need to study that. We ain't never got nowhere in politics. It's a couple of puppets you put up there, and then but yeah, that's a long and drawn out one. We can go on to even another session in that.
Okay, appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'm gonna step in real fast as Quillen a question because man, you got a good topic, a good conversation, good mode of line of thinking going here, brother. You got my mind sparked over here. So a question that came to mind, brother, is some of the confusion that we melanated brothers, black people, however you want to call it, may have when it comes to perhaps what it is I am to do in those type of situations that you're talking about. Do I strike back? Do I hit back? Do we get some get back? Do we know how to hit these people back? Is that due to the fact that perhaps maybe we don't understand jurisdiction? The reason why I ask is because if you understood jurisdiction, you would understand that you're a subject to somebody else's rule.
That's correct. That's That's right on point.
Okay,
That's right on
so
point.
someone else presides over you.
That's correct.
They have jurisdiction over you. And so inside of that jurisdiction that they have over you, they can kill you.
Mm-hmm.
They can put you in jail, kidnap you and put you in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Say you did whatever. They could kill you and said you was in the wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They can make up laws that favor them. And it's because I think it's because our people are ignorant of the fact that you are under someone else's jurisdiction, which means that they preside over you, which is why you get pulled over by the police and have to go pay tickets and citations in their courts.
Yeah.
And so, if you don't understand that, then there's no way you're going to throw a rock through a Beverly Hill Walgreen in an act of revenge because they killed one of our kids or our children.
Exactly.
Do you agree with that?
I 110% agree with it.
All right.
And that's you very well. That's very very on point to the start of, because that's the initiator. That's the main thing in with the solution with process. You correct. Yeah, we have to pull ourselves out of the jurisdiction. That's correct. That's the first. That's what needs to happen first, and that's kind of like the hill. That's the climb, because condition a person condition is a hard person to relay something over to. But what has to happen, what I believe has to happen, is that you got to start with the people that's conscious. You got to start with just if it's two of us, then we just start with the two. Out of 10. You can't be dragging along. We had just talked about before about the leaf. You gotta let it go. Now when they they're once they see what's going on, and then they become conscious, then they'll follow suit. And but you just gotta go with what we got. Kind of like go with the resources you already have.
And I think the dead weight theory, the zone down road notion is worthy to be repeated, because we were talking about it during the break. What are you talking about? I think the metaphor that you just gave, that the brother gave you once, is worthy to be repeated. What are we talking about? The tree dropping the leaf.
Yeah. This brother, and I forgot who it was. His name was Travis, but he was talking about it. He was giving a little story about him. I think his father was telling him, "Man, go look and see why the process from leaves falling from a tree." So in other words, to make it short, he was like, "Well, okay, find out. Yeah, the leaves die. They fall from the tree. That's why in the fall time they fall. Well, the tree releases knows to let the leaf go, because it will extract from it if it doesn't. So in other words, that kind of like what brother Cam is saying. That, hey, you have to. Sometimes you gotta let some stuff go, because if not, it's gonna pull from you. It's gonna pull the energy out of you. And
Literally carrying around dead weight.
You're gonna be carrying around dead weight, and then you gotta move on. You got to, and then, like I said, they gotta play catch up.
Now, I thought that was good, because you're going to make me go right after we get through here and Google that whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get a whole lesson out of that one, brother.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to interrupt you. I just had to
get
that question in.
You on point. Yeah. But you're on point, though. First thing we got to do, we got to get out of their system. And I'm not an expert at it. I'm process myself. But I'm saying that I understand that that's what has to happen. So you correct. That has to happen, because that's where how you're gonna have major leverage in the fight, right? Like you said, you can you can do one for one, but hey, what you gonna be wrapped up because you still wrapped up in the system. They just gonna wrap you up, even they gonna put extra wrapping on you.
There you go.
So that's definitely what's got to happen. And we understand that we're in a condition, so when we say, hey, everybody, look, let's have a meeting, or let's have an event, and then put it out there and be like, hey, let's, you can like, hey, look, let's start our own community, or whatever. How you do that? Well, we can do it like this, and you can put some simple things down, right? That some things that are actually we can put in place without, we ain't gotta have no 4-5 million dollars or nothing to put some stuff in place that'll make an impact. You can create the money, because it ain't even about the paper money anyway. That's a whole nother subject. That's a whole nother subject in here too. We get into that later on. On another show. But it don't matter about how much money you got, because you can make something happen without the money. You need the when you come together like this, then money's already there, because you whatever we got, we can use that. You can take $1 and make $2 out of it. Then when you take $2, you take $2 and make $4. So you gotta trickle up effect going. So that doesn't matter. It matters the moves that we make, and the strategy along with the energy, because you have to put the time and you have to put the energy into it, and then watch it. Then it'll evolve. But yeah, so we that's why I say the majority and minority. We got a minority mindset. I mean, we got people that got millions. But what, they might not be down. Right now. So make the impact from what we got. Use the resources we got. The ones that's conscious. Go on, get with like minds, and I'm down for anything that's with progression of my people, and because you got, like you say, we always got to start first with the self. I'm down for anything that as far as, when I say anything, I'm talking about properly, strategically, intellectually, uh, uh, as far as intellectually making a move. I'm down for that. So it don't matter. You come to me with it, and then it sound. I mean, it looks and it perceives to be, and it's logical, and it's reasonable, and I know that it adds up. Then I'm willing to do whatever I need to do, to help out in the situation, or to be a front, or to be the back in the situation. It don't matter to me. I just want to see the progression being done. I want to know that we able to make a change in that matter, and then we can hand this stuff down to the you, because we need to have our own universities, our own. You can't. How you plan for somebody to teach you? Somebody that's gonna teach you that they're oppressing you and still oppressing you right now. They're not gonna teach you right. They ain't gonna teach you right. The worstest thing that happened was when we look at it, and I ain't prejudiced, because I've been, everything I talk about, I've been through it. Everything that's talked about off in here, that I done been a part of it. But I understand where I understand where the struggle at. So when you understand where the struggle at, then you start focusing on that. See, you can't be. I can't be over here in this pot way over here, and somebody else got cooking, and then and my stuff ain't right, it's burning up, or I ain't got the, or I ain't tending to mine. I got to tend to mine, you know, and then you can see, maybe see, you're in helping or seeing about whatever out, but you got to. It's too much work to be done in this in with our people. It's too much work, way too much work. You have it's a couple of lifetimes before we even get straight. But we can make large steps, like I always say. And it don't take that long. We can make some large steps. So yeah, man, the majority and minority. Uh, the majority of us are caught up in the fictitious lifestyle. Majority caught up in a fictitious lifestyle. We caught up in a facade. We caught up in an illusion. Um, because this stuff is just perceptions, things have been put out there, and it keeps us distracted from the important things that's going on right around us. And like me and my cousin was just talking about this. My two of my close female cousins just talking about this um, just the other day. You know, yeah, we hypnotize. It's a hypnosis, and we got to come out of that. You got to come out of that. You got to be tired of it. I don't want to be. I'm tired of. I was tired of being wrapped up. I'm tired of being wrapped up. I'm trying to come release the rest of the rap right now. So until we do that though, and until I do that, like the brother was saying about coming from the system, then you're still a part of it. So I'm working on that. But you gotta get out of the system, and you can't. It's not for you. It ain't even designed for you. It's not designed for. It's not designed for the conscious minded, and especially somebody that's not. You gotta be. You have to be. It's designed for a Caucasian white man. That's it. You go look at it. You go read the Constitution. It's designed exactly for him. I'm talking about not even the white woman, exactly for now to her too. It caters to her, but I'm just saying that's how and I'm not saying nothing like I'm making something up. This is something that they came up with. They created this. They created the whole criteria. That's why they was able to keep us in to get away with the bondage, not keeping us but inflicting it upon our people with the oppression through the slavery and all of that. So yeah, so we don't, man. It's a lot that we don't know that we think we know. We out here running around, think that we got it going on, and don't have nothing going on. It's like you run. It's like a blind man running in the dark. That's how we are out here. That triple, that's a double stage of blindness, but we in a quadruple stage of darkness, if you want to say that, because we not, man, it's in bad shape, but things can turn, things can change, things can be better, but you have to come out of the system. You have to come out of the system, or you gonna be that. Now that's the minority that I want to be. Yeah, that's a minority right there, right? Coming out of the system, because majority is gonna be in there until they. I don't know how. That's you. When you out the system, you're a minority. Now I want to be in. That's the category I'm on and striving for and working on right there. So I want to be the minority there. I want to be them. I know I'm the minority when it comes to certain consciousness, because people don't. They don't. We most of us do not think in these manners that we're talking about when we talk about these subjects on the show. A lot of them I didn't think of. I was in the majority in a lot of things. And I still had a mindset too previously, before, even when I was younger, though, about some things that I was in the minority mindset of, saying that I wasn't with the masses. A lot of some things, even then, I would step away from, or I wouldn't gravitate to. But I was still in a conditional mindset. Still in one now, but I'm not saturated with it. And I'm working on the little conditions that I got, and that's the main thing. We got to work on that stuff every day, you know. Unless you want to be like a zombie, because that's what we walk around there like a zombie. That's what it is. We just don't see it, can't see it, don't know it, don't understand it, and you ain't gonna never understand it if you're not seeking to understand it. So we got it's so many things that, as far as when we talking about it in here, and not just in here, but we can talk about, some things it might not necessarily be here, but you can get it out of it once when you read, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, you can take it to so many different ways, because it's all about the mindset. It's all about us coming from the normal mindset that we've been trained into, because we're not in our natural state of mind. The natural state of mind don't tell us to do a lot of stuff that we're doing. Our natural state of mind tell us to do the natural thing, because God gave us an intellect and He gave us reasoning, unless we retarded. So if we're not retarded, then if we ain't retarded, I'm talking about by nature, then but we not playing we playing retarded, or we falling into the retardedness when we not elevating to when we not elevating to our natural state, then we in a retard state. Retarded mean back, so we're in a step back state, and like I said, we don't have no time to be playing around. We can have fun on it for a short time. See, we got to understand that we got our fight is long, and the condition runs deep, and because of several things, that stuff you mentioned that too. We know what that things been placed before us, things been instituted in, even chemical warfare inside over here. So that's a whole nother subject. But
Well, let me get in here. I'm gonna give you something. I think is pertinent to the conversation.
Yes, sir.
And some of it goes back to some of the reason why we just don't get it. So, have you ever heard of the General Education Board?
General Education Board.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but explain to me. But
I'm gonna give it to you. This was given to me by somebody who I consider to be a mentor. Listened to countless, hundreds, thousands of hours of his lectures, and kind of can give you, a lot of his philosophies through his information and research that he's given out, right? So one of the things that he helped me to was the General Education Board, and ultimately what their philosophy was. So I'm gonna give you some background information. The General Education Board was a private organization which was used primarily to support higher education and medical schools in the United States, and to help rural white and black schools in the South.
Oh yeah.
Okay, as well as modernize farming practices. Okay. So the board was created in 1902 after John D. Rockefeller donated the initial $1 million to get it started. Okay. All right. So a little bit of the history. The formation of the General Education Board began in early 1902, January 15, 2 months after the Southern Education Board was founded. Okay. The General Education Board was incorporated by an act of Congress that took place on January 12, 1903. So about a year later, after it got started, it became an act. They started acting.
That's right.
On it.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember now when you said it. Yeah, go ahead.
Their main objective being the promotion of education within the United States of America without distinction of race, sex, or creed. Okay. So that's a little history, a little background. You can do some more research on it. The ultimate gist of the point that I'm trying to make, gist of the story here, is their philosophy. You have to read their philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
Was their philosophy.
Cold one too.
It says, in our dream, we have limitless resources. We got it all, right? We got limited amount of resources, and the people yield themselves with perfect docility to our molding hand. What the fuck? Did you just
Limited resources.
hold on? In our dream, this is their philosophy, and our dream, you know.
Wording is critical.
Okay, wording is crazy. Maybe somebody had a dream, right? So in a response, or even before they wrote that dream speech, they already wrote a dream speech. They said, in our dream, we have limitless resources, and the people yield. The people, you know who the people are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know who the people
We
are.
were talking about a while ago.
All right, you know who the people is, right? We have limited resources, and the people yield themselves with perfect docility to our molding hand. Sound like something out the Bible. The present educational conventions fade from their minds. Let me read it again. This is what they talking about you, dude. The present educational conventions fade from their minds. You don't even retain the information. Just give it to me. I'm breaking it down, layman. Okay, or ebonically sound.
Yeah.
Okay. And hampered by tradition, we work our own goodwill upon our grateful and respectful royal flock. Okay, we do what we do, and you respect us for it unknowingly. Okay, we shall not try to make these people. That sounds like something they say. We shall not try to make these people or any of their children into philosophers or men of learning or men of science. Whoa, dude. This is the education board and their philosophy.
Shit, that's not a cold lick, that's a frozen lick.
God, dog. We have not to raise up from among them authors, editors, poets, or men of letters. We ain't trying to make you scholars. But we ain't trying to make you smart through education. That's what you said. They only disseminate so much, right, to get you to a certain point, right? And just leave you thinking you know everything, right? It's a bunch of shit they ain't gave you. We shall not search for embryo great artists, painters, musicians, nor lawyers, doctors, preachers, politicians, statesmen, of whom we have an ample supply. So we got all of that. So why we gonna promote any of what you got going on, right? Golly, it's cold blooded. You got to figure this stuff out, man.
It's right there. It's
right there.
right before our eyes.
It's right there. They tell me. So let me finish. The task we set out before ourselves is very simple, as well as very beautiful one. For who? To train these people as we find them to be perfectly ideal. Excuse me. Let me start over. The task we set before ourselves is very simple, as well as very beautiful one. To train these people as we find them to be a perfectly ideal life just where they are. So we will organize our children into a little community and teach them to do in a perfect way, the things their fathers and mothers are doing in an imperfect way. In the homes, in the shops, and on the farm. And that goes back to me, I always tell people when they say there are no such thing as perfect people in the world, I said, speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. Okay, because the only reason why you can't be perfect is because of all of the stress that life and society places upon you. It won't allow you to be perfect. That's not to say that you aren't perfect. So I had to just throw that in there. That's a little bit of the ignorance of our people.
That's the raw stuff.
If they just read a little bit,
that's all it takes for us to do.
They'll figure it out.
That's it.
Your final thoughts, bro?
That's it. My final thoughts. I got time to leave with something.
Yes, sir.
I want to leave with one of the inserts, right? One of my songs. It's a I call it an insert. Right. It's good to look at the situation, and I'm gonna analyze the outcome. Many see folks struggling instead of reaching out to take off and run. No matter how far you go or where you make it to, you're still gonna be held accountable for everything that you knew. Instead of looking at the real deal and seeing what's really important, you join the rest of the world who think materialism is glory. Listen as I tell a story, cursed from the very jump, road path full of stumps. Every journey of my life, I was forced to hunt. Situation critical. The understanding is pitiful to know you have to fit the shoes I wear, but yet who in the hell cares? Dogged out, stepped on, stereotype, pushed back. The myth is my skin too dark and mental skills they say I lack to be stuck in the cold with your stomach touching your back. Explain to me how I got here. Somebody please tell me that. They say I cry too much, but this for everybody in poverty. Y'all gonna learn to fear me in this chosen lyrical prophecy. Now why do I why am I so lonely and why do I stay home? That's an insert, right? It's called situation. So my thing is we have to pay attention to just like what the brothers just read, right? We have to pay attention to the wording and what we hear, what we're taking in. Not because it sounds good. That definitely didn't sound good. They just definitely didn't sound good, but just because even when I just get go back and listen to what is in the content. And that's my final. That's why I said that when he asked me with final thoughts. I mean, we have to see where we are at. We got to know where we're at. That's why I stress history. I stress that we learn our history, and I stress it to myself first. You know, and I've always been like that ever since I was young. Like I said, it's a lot of things that I look that I was kind of like away from because I knew that the history was taught in school wasn't right. It wasn't good. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I hope that once again that we got something out of this that we that something that we found something that maybe will spark our intellect and that'll open our eye. And maybe I'll open our third eye. So we can be able to see how and the path that we take to elevate to the next level and know that it's always room for elevation. Um, appreciate you once again for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share. QUILLON BROWN. Peace and blessings.